Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to title this Digital's Car Conundrum. In his last video, he's talking about whether you want to purchase a car with cash or purchase a car with a loan. And we're not talking about a largely different price in the cars. In his example, he's got a $7,000 car and a $4,000 car. And by his point is that the $3,000 more you put in a car, that's $7,000, you're going to get a $3,000 better car, higher quality, so on and so forth. So let's break it down. You've got $4,000 cash and you want to purchase a car. The scenario A is that you have a $7,000 Jetta and you get into a 36-month loan. You put your $4K down and it's a 22% interest rate, so you're paying about $152 a month. Okay, so the full cost of the loan is $4,000 plus 3 years of payment, which is $152 times 36, which equals $9,472. That means you get to pay the bank $2,472 for the privilege of borrowing their $3,000 over 3 years' time. Okay? And if a catastrophic failure occurs while you're driving this car, you're already paying the money into the loan, right? And also, if you lose your job, happens, right? Your loan could get pulled and you could end up losing the car because if you don't pay, bank takes your car away. So you've got nothing, right? You've got an ability to pay the bank $2,472 for a car that started out at $7,000, but you ended up paying $9,472. Okay, now scenario 2, there's a $4,000 one-time payment, and then you have an additional repairs of $1,000. Hey, even call it $2,000, but let's go with $1,000, and I'll talk about how you can easily handle all this other stuff with just the paying the cash option. You go with a Toyota or a Honda from the early 2000s, late 90s, I don't care, whatever, $4,000 Honda or Toyota. Comes to about $5,000 if you include the $400,000 or the $4,000 down to buy the car, and then $1,000 for repairs or whatever. Okay, here's the deal. In scenario 2, when you paid cash for the $4,000 car, there is no reason that you cannot be taking that $152 that you're paying for option A's $7,000 car that you're going to pay $9,400 or $772 with over the course of the loan. There's no reason you can't take that $152 a month that you would have paid for a loan and pay yourself. Put it in the bank. Put it in the bank, okay? So scenario 2, let's say... Hold on, let's go for this whole thing. So, scenario 2, digital, you said that after 2 years, the car, the cheap car, the $4,000 car would have a major failure. I'll say that the $1,000 is a boom, right? Happens after 2 years. Okay, follow along with me. If the owner's able to save $152 a month for 24 months, that means the car is going to end up with, you're going to end up having $3,648 in the bank. $3,648 in the bank. If you had a catastrophic repair that cost $1,000 or even $2,000, you're still sitting with $1,648 in the bank. That's after 2 years. And if we went like apples to apples, you got a 3-year car loan. Let's pay ourselves for 3 years. That car, going with the cash option, is going to put $5,472 in your bank account, right? Because that's the difference between the $9,472 option of paying the bank and the $4,000 option of buying the beater. Oh, and minus the $1,000, or even call it $2,000 for the repairs. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer here. And the fact that people are actually having this discussion, the fact that we're having this back and forth about which one's better, is exactly why banks are in these huge buildings. Because people go in there and they expect that they're getting a good deal. We're getting a good deal because the banks, they're giving us a good deal. No, they're giving you a shitty deal. Banks have huge buildings and are these massive, massive companies that we say are manipulating us in our government every day. The reason isn't because there's some super smart individuals with this black hand government stuff. It's because we walk in there every day and we do dumb shit like this. That's it. It's point blank. Don't pay the bank $152 a month. Pay yourself $152 a month. Drive the Toyota. You got $3,648 in the bank after the first 2 years. If the engine blows up, $2,000. You still got $1,648 in the bank. You've got nothing with the Jetta. You got nothing in the bank in this scenario. I'm not understanding how we've got a disagreement here. I'm really not getting it. So the Honda or the Toyota is not a better car than the Jetta. Are you sure? $3,000 difference is not that much, man. It's really not that much. Call it 8 years. Okay, I bought a 2000 Toyota, and you got a 2008 Jetta. I don't think that's accurate, by the way. The difference with $3,000 would be like a 2005 versus a 2000, but it's a 2000 year. It's a car made in the 2000s. It's okay. It's over 100,000 miles. It's a Toyota. You go for 200,000 miles, no problem. You got to put some maintenance in it, sure, but you're still gonna be saving more than the car can suck out of you with the repair costs. Remember, you still got the Jetta. The Jetta for 3 years is going to have a smaller cost as far as repairs, but you've got now the car slurping some of your money, and you've got the bank slurping some of your money. All I'm trying to say is what the bank's taking from you, the $152 a month, it's better suited in your bank account for even a car that is more likely to break down as the Toyota or whatever it might be. I'm not saying that's necessarily true, because I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm going with the scenario. And keep in mind, you lose your job, nobody's coming to take your beater away. It's going to be in the driveway. You may not be driving it because you can't afford the gas, but it's there. Okay?
So there's nothing to resell.
So there's nothing to resell. Yeah, so that's the other point. You're not reselling a car that's on a loan. You got to pay the loan off. But let's say after 2 years, I got my beater Toyota. Then I put $1,000 into it. It's working great now. Working great. $1,000. Call that the timing chain, and I agree with you. Manual transmission. And you initially had the $3,648 in the bank, but then you paid $1,000 out. Now you got $2,648. You still got liquidity. You have almost in 2 years. You've got whatever the value of that car is, and actually your own money. You've got more than what you had with the $4,000 initially. Then at the end of the 3-year cycle, right? You paid $1,000, and you've got $5,472 in the bank. After 3 years, let's say that Toyota blows up. It's just, the whole thing just craters. A meteor comes in and blows that car up. You got $5,472 in the bank. 3 years ago, you only had $4,000. Pay cash, particularly if you're in a bad situation, guys. All right, take it easy.